Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ & Sons and our NCAA football series as we are the head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And, last episode we had a tough finish to it. Our nemesis, the Longhorns, we traveled to Austin. We hung in there for a pretty good bit, uh, but they were just too much and they overtook us. So, 3 games in, we're 2-1. Now we're getting ready for Big 12 football. This is where we need to make our bones. Basically, is in the conference, right? Before we do that, we need to get some of these visits scheduled for our recruits. And if you notice, some of these guys that we're visiting right now, at least the top 3, Steve Walter, who we're trying to get scheduled. These are generally our higher rated guys that we have coming up first. And so I want to squeeze them in later in the season. The later we can go, the better it is for us. Right. I mean, it's just more points and all that. So we get the first man scheduled for TCU. Now, Walter being for TCU and Chad Morton being a defensive end, we schedule him the same game. Walter's an outside linebacker. Morton's a D end. It's something that really helps to kind of bind and build this team together, right? It's something that really helps us. I think having those multiple guys that complement each other, it's a great way to get those guys into these games and to be able to get them together. Because if we can recruit both of them and get them both, that'd be just fantastic. Those are 2 highly recruited guys for us. So now these other guys, Christian Carr coming in as a defensive back, 59 overall. He's kind of going to be a spot filler at most. It kind of depends on really where he comes. He may develop more as the season goes to where we actually recruit him. But if you look, he is a JUCO guy, and so I'm not exactly sure, what type of improvement we can see from him. That's something I always look at whenever I see the guys. So, like someone like Chad Morton, 67 overall, right? You go, well, you compare him to Dane Alvarez. Dane Alvarez 72, so he would be the better choice. Now, there is one of those little factors that you can't really determine right now. It is going to take a while to actually figure that one out, and generally you won't figure it out until you have them on your team. But how quickly do they develop? 67 overall, he could quickly become an 80, 85 overall within 2 seasons, and then even get up there. But that a lot of that comes with scouting. Does their overall position increase or decrease whenever you are scouting them? If they go from a 60 to a 67, well, that's an improvement. And so there's obviously some hidden abilities there, right? Think of it that way. That's kind of how we're looking at it. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this first game. This will be against the Kansas Jayhawks. We are going to be playing in Lawrence, Kansas. Last season, they gave us some fits. It wasn't anything like, hey, they're going to completely dominate us, or this is going to be a shootout type of game. But they gave us some definite fits last season and had us on an upset alert whenever we played them. They have a lot of the guys returning. Their running back is returning from who they had last year. Their quarterback, I think, has changed, but overall, the running back is the same. Some of the receivers are still there. So a lot of the offense that was successful against us last year in our home last season in our home stadium, they are still here now, and this is our chance to put them back, basically knock them back down, right? They got a little boost. They got a little fire in them. Now we have to put them back down. So that's what we're going to set out here to do as we do jump in with 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Hand it off to Poole up the middle. Makes a man miss with that juke move, and he picks up a quick little 12-yard rush. And our offense is moving. That is what I like to see. His first rush of the day, 12 yards. If we could just do that on every time he carries the dang ball, it would just be that much better. But we are going to come to the line now just at about the 49-yard line on our own side of the field. In a shotgun formation. Duncan hands it off to Poole. He cuts it back to the right. He breaks another tackle. Poole down the sideline at the 10-yard line. 5, and he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Look at that. That little juke right there as he cut it up the middle. He started left, cuts back right. and then comes right back to the left side. But that little juke move right there helped set him free. He let him break that tackle and get out into open space, and they do bring him down. And they're actually going to mark him down at about the 6.5-yard line. So now we come out in a wildcat formation. Holt hands it off to Birch, going to the right, and there's going to be no one there. Now, Holt is our backup quarterback, and so we, in a wildcat formation, I don't mind having him there. He's a mobile guy. 80, I think he's overalls in the mid-80s, so 85, 86, something like that. So he's definitely got throwing capabilities, right? And I think we can take advantage of that, but not as much throwing capability as that man right there, Duncan, has. As he hits Kyle Jones on that pattern, fits it into a tight area. And Jones is hit immediately, brought down before he's able to get into the end zone, but hey, that does leave us with just inches to go on that play. So here we come to the line. We are going to spread them out wide. Duncan into shotgun. Little option keeper. Duncan up the middle. Touchdown Tech. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Ben Duncan on that option keeper. He's really getting a hold of that himself. He struggled a little bit with that in the last game. Reading the Longhorn defense. Now, granted, Kansas is no Longhorn defense, but still, I think y'all get what I'm saying. He's showing some signs of improvement that we like to see. So here come Kansas out on offense. 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and we are going to bring him down. Lee Walter, he kind of dominated us last season for a pretty good bit of that game. We do bring him down for a short gain on that carry, though, and that brings this Jayhawk offense to a 3rd and 4. Now, Red Raiders coming out in a nickel package, and we are going to be lined up 4 down, nickel package right now. It's going to be tough deciding when to blitz because these guys get the pass off. But wow! We brought the blitz that one. Did you see Brooks get sacked? And Andre Hayes comes through practically untouched. Singletary bull rushed his tackle, and that left that hole wide open. And he comes through, and he just brings Brooks down harshly. That's the type of defense we need. Finding that balance between the blitz, the zone, and man. And I think if we do that more, we can definitely be highly successful. Now, our defense has been a story of this game, I think, compared to what we were last season. Look at that. Armstrong comes busting through, makes his 3rd tackle for a loss today. Lee Walter has 7 rushes for 8 yards. Last year, I think he had 7 rushes for like 80 yards. So a great improvement by this defense. Now, we're here in the second quarter, and we've held this Kansas offense to 0 points. We lead 14-0, about 5.5 minutes to go. Our defense has just been pushing around this Jayhawk offense so far here in the first half, and now we've got them with their backs against the wall on a 3rd and 11 from the Jayhawk 31-yard line. And we're going to come out. We're only going to have 3 down linemen. We're going to bring in about, 2 linebackers is what it looks like, and lots of defensive backs. And we don't bring a whole lot of blitz, but we get some pressure, and Brooks' pass falls incomplete. Andre Hayes comes up with another big play. Now, we would turn the ball over, which would result in a Kansas touchdown and make the score 14-7. But here's Rivas on the ensuing kickoff. He's down the sideline at the 40, the 30, tries to make the final man miss, but he's brought down at the 20-yard line. Wow! Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Rivas followed his blockers, got that hole, and just shot through it. Now, he does get brought down at the 21-yard line, so that brings us to a 1st and 10. 2 minutes to go in this first half. Handed off to Poole to the left side, just off the left of center. And he's going to pick up a good about 5 yards on that carry. Pretty good afternoon for him so far, as he's got 6 rushes for 78 yards, averaging about 13 yards per carry. Especially after that big 44-yarder, that's easy to do. Now on a 2nd and 5, on a quick slant, we hit it over to Matt Herman. He's going to come up with an 8-yard reception. He's had kind of a slower season. Slower start to the season. A lot of that's been Duncan kind of trying to figure things out. Our offense working more of the option, and actually being a little bit better, so we're not stuck in so many throwing situations, right? So that's kind of led to his less lowered production, I think, coming into this season. Now, in that 1st and goal carry, we do get about 9 yards, and that takes us all the way down to the 1-yard line, and we'll bring up 2nd and goal from the 1. The clock is still ticking, so if we can finish off this half with punching this one across, take a 21-7 lead, that'll be just that much better. Now Poole takes a big hit, but he fights through a touchdown tack. Oh my goodness. Oh baby. Oh baby. Brian Poole lowered his shoulder. Talk about getting violent, even though I say that because he took the brunt of that blow. Bouncing backwards, but maintained his balance, and he will get that touchdown. So now, with taking that lead right at the end of the half, we're going to jump into 7 minutes here in the third quarter. And Brooks just throws that one incomplete. It was 2nd and 5. It's going to now be 3rd and 5. Now, this offense has been moving the ball a little bit here recently. They did get the one touchdown in the second quarter, and they are now at the Red Raider 35-yard line. They get the snap. Brooks stands tall in the pocket. Pressure comes. He's brought down. James Brooks gets sacked for a loss of 8 yards, and that's going to bring up 4th and 12. Ryan Robinson comes through. He's been fighting off double teams all dang day, and he finally comes through to bring down the quarterback for a big-time sack, and that will force them to punt the ball away to us. On this one. So now our ensuing drive as Duncan drops that one off to Chad McMillan there on the right side. He's had kind of a slower game so far, only 4 catches for 28 yards. But everything else is working for us. So you kind of see who Kansas went to go cover, essentially, who they pointed out for their defense. So now 2nd and 5, shotgun formation. Duncan hands it to Poole to the left side. Another big opening. Brian Poole, speed all the way, breaks a tackle. 5, he's going to score. Touchdown tack. Get your guns up. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Brian Poole took that one. Massive hole on the left side. Great blocking by the receiver, Kyle Jones. And then just a stiff arm, reminiscent of Derrick Henry, as he shoves a man off and he goes into the end zone, and that will give us 28 points in this game. Now, we are going to kind of further it along here, about 2.5 minutes to go, and we just have to put up an extra touchdown on them. All right, they wanted to put up an extra one right before this, so I felt the need. I don't know why they choose to do this to themselves. If they didn't score, I wouldn't have scored either. So we are blowing them out. It is a 21-point game here. There's now 2.5 minutes remaining in the half. It's just not, I mean, we do complete the game. We finish it off. 35-14 is the score. I think it's a score at least. So it was a good game for us. Definitely a good game. You know, Brian Poole, 22 carries, 204 yards, and 2 touchdowns with a little over 20 yards in receiving. So great game by this offense overall. The defense, though, talk about the improvement from last year. We did give up one more garbage time touchdown. That's what I thought. 35-21. It happens. You know, this was their first touchdown. They got us beat on a blitz package, and that's why I have to be careful with our blitzing. We do have that deficiency at defensive back. So we can kind of cover it a little bit if we, have a decent zone scheme going and we get pressure. And that's what we were able to do today. We were able to get pressure a lot in that first half. And so we really slowed down that Kansas offense. Unlike we were able to do last season. But this season we did slow them down. And I think it really paid off for us in this game, giving us that big victory, 35-21. So now what does that do to people that, we've been recruiting when you beat a team like Kansas? Well, I'll tell you this. Last game we had only 5 people wanting to visit. This game, coming into this one, or after that week, now we have 12 people that want to visit. So we have we're starting to gain that interest, right? And if you look, we have a decent schedule going. We're 3-1, 1-0 in Big 12 play, and now we've got another Big 12 game coming up ahead of us on the road once again. But this one is a prime time game, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this one is going to be against BYU. Our first time to play them in the Big 12 at BYU at 8 o'clock at night. So, big game coming up. But before that, we need to get these guys scheduled for visits. And as I've told you, I always want that complimentary visit along with some dudes. And if you can schedule them against teams like TCU, yeah, we can lose that game. But if we put up a really good showing and hit some of the key points that they want, whether it be force a turnover and get the interception, get sacks, hold teams to rushing totals, lower that down. If we can maintain that, those things while still keeping it close, even if we lose, it'll give us a boost in the recruiting for some of these guys, right? And so that's what I'm always trying to look at. We're getting a lot of interest from linebackers, and a lot of linebackers we need to see that are a little bit higher rated, right? Um, and so it's really trying to figure out where we want to get these guys scheduled, because I can't obviously put them all against TCU. Especially linebackers, when you already got one, and we got Walter, who's a 75 overall linebacker. He's there at TCU. Some of these guys I need to schedule to get that last point. The later the visit, the more of a boost, and that's really what I'm going for with some of these guys that, we may be dragging behind them a little bit as far as the recruiting point total, I guess, goes. But if we can hammer that out and we can inch closer with the recruiting visit, and sometimes even pass them up, then more power to us. And I think we need to do that, because that will be a big tool for us going forward. And Big 12 play is not an easy thing, right? And I think this season in the Big 12, what we're looking at right now, TCU, they were in the national title game last year. They lost. Now they are number 9 in the country. They've already lost once this season. So hopefully they don't lose again, except for to us. But we'll see kind of what happens. Now, Kansas is Big 12 North. BYU is going to be Big 12 North. And then in the next episode, I think it's Oklahoma State, Kansas State, which I believe by the schedule, that's how it should be. So those guys are also Big 12 North. And then we hit up our Big 12 South swing, okay? Or at least I think one of them is Big 12. Either way, we got to finish off the Big 12 North, and then we're going to hit the Big 12 South up, and that's really where it matters, because we're going to have to truly see, whatever our record is against those guys, is really going to determine a lot on whether or not we make the Big 12 title game. So, even if we don't finish the season as strong, if we hammer it off at the end, kind of stumble here in the middle, but if we beat them in the end, we can launch ourselves into that Big 12 title game. Now, will that put us in the national spotlight for, say, a national championship? I don't think so. If we lose one more game, we're probably going to be out of it. So, I think getting into big games, conference titles, stuff like that, that's going to help us out with this recruiting. What you're looking at right now is we do need to finish off some scouting. Some of these guys, you never know, you may find a gem. If you look, he went up from 63 to 64, and he's only halfway scouted. Steve Mcafee, 62 to 64, he's halfway scouted. So that's what I'm talking about. Like 62 to 64 is a pretty quick advancement. So maybe by later on in the season, he'll be from a 64 to a 66, right? Or 64 to 68. Then if we are able to bring him in, after the first season workouts, what type of improvement are they going to have? They may go from a 68 into the 70s, especially when you start seeing things like that happening. Now, I know Mcafee, I did just start adding points to him. I only added 100. Same thing with Andy Shelton. They're both 64 overall. And we have the lead as far as recruiting goes, but that's the reason why I just want to make sure we keep that lead, right? Let's keep the lead going, and let's try to build up on top of that. Some of these guys I know we don't have much of a chance to get just as far back as we are in those, so I will start dumping points off them eventually, but just not right now. All right, so let's get into the second game of our episode. We are here in the mountains of Utah at Brigham Young University, home of Steve Young. Actually, not where he lives, but he went to college at BYU, and a few other guys did too. The guy that's with the Saints. What's his name? Yeah, well, either way, he was with BYU. He was a quarterback there. And I remember him because I watched him in Austin run all over the Longhorns for like 280 yards the season after he blew out his knee. He even had a big old knee brace while doing it. That's really how, your team's falling off, is when you can't even contain a guy that has a massive knee brace on. So, either way, it should be a tough one for us. Now, like I said, 1-0 in the Big 12. They have us behind West Virginia, and I say this because West Virginia is one of the teams that is the team that beat TCU. So they obviously have to put us behind them. However, both undefeated, 1-0 in Big 12, taking on our second Big 12 team. And this is going to be a big one. BYU has got potential, right? They've got definite potential to spoil our season, and you got to be careful of that. All right, this is a primetime game. Texas Tech Red Raiders, BYU Cougars at Lavelle Edwards Stadium here in Utah. Look at those surrounding mountains. It's a beautiful place. Should be a great game. Now, BYU is going with the hurry-up offense, and that's how we're going to jump into it on their opening drive. 9.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. They're hurrying it up. They come to the line in a pistol formation, and they're going to look back over at the sideline to see about any adjustments that are needed. And Slaughter, their quarterback, gets the snap. He's pressured. He fumbles. He's going to fumble. That's a strip sack. Singletary picks it up, and he's going to be brought down almost immediately, but a strip sack on their quarterback. I mean, the pressure was coming. The pocket just collapsed immediately. And Bell grabs him, and as he's slinging him around, he loses possession of the ball. Singletary picks it up, and that's going to now be Texas Tech ball here in this one for our first offensive possession, starting out at the 24-yard line. And so we're going to come out, obviously, with the shotgun formation. That's kind of still how we run our option type of offense. Duncan and Poole are in the backfield, 3 wide, as he's going to hand it off to Poole. Cuts it back, started out left, cut it back to the right, going right up the middle, picks up a good 5 yards on that one. Brian Poole, his first rush of the day, obviously, because it's our first drive, picks up 5 yards, and now we have a 2nd and 5. But getting closer to the red zone. We're at about the 21-yard line now. Come out in a pistol formation. Duncan has the snap, scans over, throws a wide receiver screen, but just a second too late. And that one actually, thankfully, they say he got the pass off, and that wasn't a fumble. And goes incomplete. 3rd and 5. We will take the good breaks when we can get them. 3rd and 5. Duncan comes out in a shotgun, 4 wide. Poole in backfield, offset to his left side. As the snap, scans over, fires it. He's going to find Sparks over the middle. Sparks finally brought down after a gain about 20 yards. Hunter Sparks, he's been an interesting kind of fit for us in the tight end and slot position. He has some definite big play capability, as we just saw right there. But I think I probably want to see him I might just move him to receiver officially. I think he's listed as our tight end. I might move him to receiver officially just to get him where I think he fits best. So, all right, 1st and goal now from the 1, coming out in the shotgun again, spreading them out wide. Duncan, option keeper, he's grabbed, and he's going to be tackled for a loss of 1. BYU read that one perfectly, and they get us in the backfield. Duncan kept it. Whether he kept it or handed it off, it was going to be stopped short, most likely. So, 2nd and goal now from the 2-yard line. As we come out, still keeping it in the shotgun formation, spreading them out wide. Play action to Poole, drop it off to Jones, and he's going to get into the end zone. Kyle Jones, touchdown Tech. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Kyle Jones, 2 yards out. Goes on that little flat pattern and actually was able to grab that one and bring that one in. That was close to being deflected or even popped up in the air and possibly intercepted. So, worked out for us. 7-0 lead is how it stands right now here in Utah. And take a look at that. A&M, number 1 team in the country, takes out number 10 Arkansas 38-31. Wow. SEC must be flipping their keister for A&M to be number 1 and undefeated. So, after that little game break, let's get back to it as BYU come driving down the field. 5.5 minutes to go in the first. They hand it off and a big hit. Thomas Johnson got that ball and ran right up the middle, but what a violent end to that play came for him as he gets smacked to the turf and brings up 3rd and 1. Now Slaughter on the option keeper. He's going to be brought down behind the line. Slaughter tackled by Singletary, loss of 3 yards. That's going to bring up 4th down. The option. Both teams having an eye on the quarterback for these option plays. And that's something that I know we had to work on coming into this one. But something they're going to have to work on too, as we got a big stop there. And we now have the ball on offense. So here we are with 2nd and 3 as we fire it over to Matt Herman, 18 yards. Woo! Duncan is hitting some of these points on these throws in these zones. I mean, he's getting it right where it needs to be. And Matt Herman is a benefactor right there as he gets the 18-yard catch down to the 2-yard line. And so Duncan's going to come out, spread him out wide once again, but we don't get the snap off, and that quarter will come to an end here at Brigham Young as we are leading 7-0 off the pass from Duncan to Jones there in the first quarter. So this second quarter gets underway here at the 2-yard line, 1st and goal. Now, in all reality, I wouldn't mind if, this thing just drug out for 3 plays, but you hate to see it happen because something bad could happen. But hey, we might have that occur. Brian Poole is not able to force that one in. 4 rushes for 22 yards, and that might be a slight issue. He's only got 4 rushes through the first quarter. Might need to start working on getting him the ball a little bit more often. So here we go, 5 wide now. Duncan up the middle, and he's going to be stopped short. Oh, the quarterback caper. Oh, man, all right. 3rd and goal from the 1 now. I said I didn't mind if it took us 3 plays, and apparently I don't. So 3rd and goal. We are 3 for 3 on 3rd downs. Duncan, option keeper, to the right. Ben Duncan, he's in. Touchdown Tech. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Ben Duncan goes blasting through the defender. He had the ball, took it himself. He would not be denied. Defender hits him. It don't matter at all. Now, we become a little turnover hungry and turnover bug, okay, here in the second quarter. And that led to this score being 21-14 here. Like I said, still in the second quarter. Only 5 minutes of game time have passed since we last saw our offense on the field. And so now the game is a lot closer. BYU is driving 21-14 as they hand it off to Johnson, and Singletary's going to make a great play coming off his block to bring him down over there by the numbers. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 3 for this Cougar offense. And they are going to come out in a hurry-up formation. 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. They look over to the sideline for the play. They come to the line, get the snap. Option keeper. Singletary breaks that one up again. Slaughter unable to get rid of it. Singletary got on him so fast. And I don't even know if it would have mattered if he had tossed that one, because we had a man waiting right there in the woods. So now we have a chance to extend this lead again as we come down to the final minute of this half, and that pass falls incomplete. Brian Poole just could not hang on to it, and his receptions he's gotten a little shaky with it here recently. So going to have to definitely keep a watch on that as we go through this season. Now, after that incomplete, we have a 2nd and 10, 5 wide. Duncan, not needing any additional protection, drops that one off to Kyle Jones. He's going to make a 6-yard reception. 3rd and 4 now. Jones has got 4 receptions for 23 yards and a touchdown on this afternoon. So pretty good evening for him. So 3rd and 4. This clock is still ticking. 40 seconds remaining. Duncan, he's going to send Poole in motion. Poole from left to right. Duncan has a snap. They bring a blitz. He fires it. Carey jumps up and he drops that one. Oh, man, they brought that pressure and we had to get rid of it way before we wanted to. And I thought we could hit Carey, one of our other tight ends, up the seam. That just was not meant to be. Oh, Kyle Jones is going to be out for at least a little bit with an abdominal strain. That's no good. So 4th and 4, we're going for it. Duncan drops back, fires it to Sparks, who's going to cut up. Did they give it to us, or are they giving it to... What are they doing? Okay, we are keeping it. Whoo, got the first down. All right. Coming back out, 5 wide once again. Duncan in a shotgun formation. Holt, our backup quarterback, is now playing receiver in the slot position. Duncan making some changes. 20 seconds remaining. Has a snap. Scans over the field. Drops back. Fires it. It's caught by Chad McMillan. That's going to be a first down. 13 yards. Duncan to McMillan. That's his first catch of the evening. And that was a big one for us. Now, Kyle Jones, he is going to be hurt. Abdominal strain, medium risk. I try not to put him in if it's medium or high risk. Low risk, if in a close game, I'll put him back in. But most of the time, I'll give these guys a chance to rest. 1st and 10. 15 seconds remaining. Duncan has a snap. Kind of drifts to his right. Throws it up. It's almost intercepted. I don't know where our receiver went. I know I tried to switch to him at the last second, and he ran off when I did, so I probably won't be doing that no more as we go. But that's just a little aside note. You know what I mean? All right, 2nd and 10. Duncan comes out in the shotgun. Only 3 receivers this time, but both backs in the backfield. Has a step, scans over, fires it to the right. He's got McMillan. Who's going to go out? They're not going to give it to him. He went out at the 1-yard line. Oh, my goodness. All right. Chad McMillan out at the 1. So actually less than the 1, about the 2-inch line. We're going to come out 5 wide on your keysters. 5 seconds to go. Duncan. Quick fire over the middle. Revis makes a touchdown catch. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Texas Tech. We will double our lead right there at halftime, 28-14. Now, we would get the ball to start the second half, and we are going to be moving it, ladies and gentlemen, in a shotgun formation, 4 wide, making some last-second adjustments. Fire over the middle to McMillan, who came across on the slant. That was a pretty good play. We made the change to get Jones out of his way. Ran Jones straight up the field on a streak pattern that took the defenders with them, so it left McMillan an opportunity to come under on that slant. So now 1st and 10 from inside the red zone. Duncan has the snap. He's going to run up the middle by himself. He gets tackled hard after a gain of about 8 yards. And a pretty good evening rushing the ball for the Red Raiders and Ben Duncan. He's got 34 out of the 171 rushing yards by this Red Raider offense. So 2nd and 2 as we come to the line. Shotgun formation. Duncan, 4 wide receivers this time. Looks like he's making a little change. Gets a snap, scans over. Pressure comes, fires it. Touchdown, Tech. Get your guns up. Oh, my goodness. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Ben Duncan to Hunter Sparks on that one. They brought the pressure again. This time we hit our man, and we get the touchdown, and that's going to extend this lead from 14 to 21 points. 35-14 here. And this was a massive win for us. A big game. You know, at that point, 35-14, we did kind of slow it down a little bit. We did add some more points. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But they were garbage time touchdowns. We did put our backups in and had them finish out the game for us. Now, Ben Duncan, even with backups being in, he will be our player of the game. Well-earned, well-deserved young man. So this win, man, 2 big wins to start out Big 12 play. You got to love seeing it. Our defense has held pretty well. 49 points what we got. They do have 31, okay, but once again, that was the backup defense that we had in at that time. Okay, they had 1 long play. Outside of that, it was all our backup defense allowed them to put up a couple more touchdowns. Like I say, garbage time, nothing special. Still won by double digits, by 3 scores. Big time win for us. 4-1 on the season. You know, if we continue like this, we should be getting ranked here fairly quickly. Hopefully by the next game and the next episode, we will be in the top 25. And Duncan is having a great season. Him and Sparks are starting to connect with each other, making a lot of great throws. It's something to be excited about as we continue on with this season. And that does remind me, as we continue, stay tuned with us and hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed already. And if you did like today's video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button as well. It definitely helps out the channel, and we greatly appreciate everything that y'all do for us here at Champ & Sons. So once again, thank y'all for joining us here for this episode. I will see y'all in the next one as we hit some pretty big guys here in the Big 12, Kansas State, Oklahoma State. That's all for next time. Until then, everybody stay safe, and, well, you guys know how it goes by now, right? Later, y'all.